Alright guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be looking at my B12 dungeon teams. I've gotten a lot of comments asking about them, so I thought it was about time I showed you guys how they are. I have my records pulled up right now. These teams are not perfect, obviously. They're not 100% success rate, but they do work, and they're fairly fast for B12s right now. I definitely want to work towards improving them, which is why I haven't really made videos on them yet. You know, I think maybe a before and after video would be fine. You know, if I can finally get some of the units I need to speed up these dungeons. I really want to play around with the Water Weapon Master, but I still haven't gotten them yet. So we're going to go through. I've been using the Trikaru, Belial, and Varad now for these dungeons. And then Julie twins, and we'll go through runes and stuff now, show a couple runs and see how that goes. We'll start with Giants. I'll show both teams. It is the same team for both. We have 3 Inugamis, and now I actually have speed runed on my Inugamis. I know you can make them really slow for the Verd team, but I don't get to use Verd, so this is how I use my Trikaru. And this is one of them, which I can change that crit rate out for accuracy, which I really should do. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet, but I will. Now that I remember about it. This is another one. This one's actually just on broken stats. I think my other ones were just thrown on Swift to try to get the speed. And yeah, that one's also on Swift. So yeah, I have all mine runes fairly, I mean, not crazy fast, but fast enough. They don't get the boost from Verd, so I want them to be pretty quick. For dungeons itself, I actually can rune them way slower. Maybe I'll do that, but I like to use my Inugamis in TOA, actually. Trikaru with Lapis is my favorite easy auto TOA 1 through 100 normal. They pretty much wipe everything quick. That's how I like to speedrun TOA normal. And this is my Belial. I also need them to be faster than my Belial, which is why they're fine like this. That rune will definitely be improved eventually when I get a better drop. Okay, so let's get into it, and I'll explain the team pretty much. So we have the 3 Inugamis and Belial, which are standard, really great, but I don't have any good wave control. So one thing I noticed back when Varad got his balance patch update, they made his skill 3 no longer glance if his defense is higher than the target. I noticed that his AI improved. So he uses S3 very frequently now. And so the Inugamis, if they cycle it up for him, he's got double AoEs, but he's very consistent with his AoE skills now. So in dungeon teams like this, I'm not worried about him, using skill 1. He's pretty much going to use skill 3 or skill 2 if it's available. Which is why it's been really helpful for me for killing these things. Okay, the giant kind of just wrecked us now. So we'll have to wait for Belial to revive. Or we lost. Okay, we lost. That was really great for recordings, wasn't it? Shit. Okay, like I said, the team isn't 100% success rate, but it works a majority of the time. It's kind of awkward that it didn't work now. It's not perfect. I would love to have an AoE damage dealer and that can clear waves. I know people use Lucian for this. I can't, and there's no real replacement for Lucian. At least for B12s, There isn't any other unit in the game that can purely one-shot the waves, unless we're talking like the Light Dragon. But obviously I don't have a Light Dragon, nor would I use him for this if I could. Because that would be cheating, but those teams are impressive. Now, a unit that I really want to try out, right? The Water Robot. His AI is really good with his S2. I don't think it's perfect AI, but he uses it very, very frequently. And so I think that would be really good to have. There we go. There we go. He comes back to finish it off. So I think that would be really good to have. And we'll do another one. And also the speed of this team varies. Sometimes you get really, really good runs. and other times you don't. But water robot, I've been trying to think of how I can make him work because he works similar to Zerath, the light dragon. Now, the only problem being that I don't think you can rune him to one-shot the waves at all. Like, my super robot does not one-shot the waves. He's going to need significant damage increases to do it. He can get them close down to, like, maybe a fourth of their health left or something. I've tried it out, but it's nothing substantial yet. And Julie can't kill the waves. Not by herself, at least. Though I have been thinking Julie Water Robot to 2-tap waves, but I'd have to then make a team that can actually 3-man solo the bosses. And with water units, that's kind of hard. We'll do one more and then we'll switch to dragons. Though, if they buffed robot, like I would love them to make self-destruct either be a guaranteed crit so you don't have to ruin them with crit rate, and that would help way more. We could pump way more HP and crit damage on him and just make him insane. Alternatively, I don't know, it's a self-destruct skill, maybe it could maybe it could ignore some defense or something. Maybe not a full ignore, but like a percentage of their defense or something, like, or just buff the ratios in general. Because if he could one-shot the waves, it would be really good. Plus, the robots they don't team up when they're in their recovery state. So the robot would have his skill 2 up for the waves, and they wouldn't be able to team up with him in the dungeon, like against the mid-boss and the boss. And so it would just be the Inugamis pairing up with Belial, and that would just be an amazing, perfect dungeon speed team that's like perfect AI, pretty much. So I would love to get that working. That is what I want to do. And I'm not quite sure how that's going to be possible. We'll start with the Dragons team now. It's the same team, same units. I just noticed it's pretty quick-ish. So that's what I really want to get done. And my first thought was maybe building the Inugamis with enhanced runes. Like I could potentially go, 9-something enhanced sets. But even with, like, I tried throwing in aerial lead with 2 enhanced sets and something like that, and it still didn't get the robot close enough to killing anything. So I'm not quite sure if it's possible yet. Maybe there's someone out there with like super, super insane runes that could maybe do it. So I would like to see if that's possible. But that's my idea for this, so ideally I'd like to be the first one to do this. But that's going to be reliant on Comtuous actually making water robot damage good and acceptable. Okay, I got a little close there, but they finished it off. So if you're listening to this, Comtuous, buff water robo is what I'm saying. You made the wind and dark one so insane. Such a pain in the ass for RTA now. Can we make the water robo actually useful? Because all you did is make him come back with invincibility when he revives, which is nice. That's nice and all. It's helpful, but that's nothing, like, amazing. Yeah, personally, I thought that he should just get an extra turn if he kills something with his destructive passive, but maybe the invincibility is better. And the water robo should also be able to heal enough to get back to full HP as the waves go on. So it's nice. Like, oh, we didn't push back. Okay, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks if Arad doesn't have skill 3 pushback. Maybe we survive this. The water demon ignore defense hits pretty hard, but it might not be enough. Oh, we didn't even use it. Okay. Well, all right, if we can wait another 12 turns. See, that's why this takes a little long in. It's not an amazing team. It's not. I'm not, like, proud of it or anything. It's not when I really want to show off and be like, oh, I made an amazing water comp. It's one that works for now, so I can farm with it. Oh, my goodness. That didn't kill? Are you shitting me? Come on, that was a sliver of HP. So it's not amazing, but it's what I'm using. And then, you know, the Punisher's Crypt team I already showed off in Theomar's video. So you've all seen that. I'm not even going to bother with Steel Fortress until I can make a good, consistent team for that. Steel Fortress, I have to manual it on B10 if I really want to complete it. And that's also with 50-50 coin flips because none of the units that block beneficial effects can do it without glancing. It's very frustrating, and I hate the mechanic of Steel Fortress B10. I think it's stupid that you have to... The only way to win it is to block the beneficial effects. Otherwise, there's no shot. So, you know, if you're hearing that as well, come to us. Make it doable for me, please. But other than that, yeah. That's the team ideally I want to have. Water Robo in place of Varad, and then I can slow down my Inugamis. And then Water Robo will go, wipe the wave, Inugamis and Belial team up to kill the mid-boss. And they won't trigger the Robo, so it would be great AI. And then Robo has recovered enough to have his skill back up, and he'll nuke again. And then Belial nukes the boss with the Inugamis. And ideally, we just, like, 2-tap. two or 3-tap the mid-boss and boss. Because I could afford, even Belial, I can afford to make him slower to add even more damage. And it would work versus giants and dragons, probably. Maybe it wouldn't. I mean, this is working now, so. It would definitely work versus giants. And you know, now that we're looking at the dragons waves, I'll ask you guys this in the comments. You know, and I might be putting my tinfoil hat on, but has anyone else wondered why the dragon waves don't have fire golems as their waves? Like, there's no fire element in the dragons besides the boss, and I'm convinced that is only so that people can still use Lucian in dragons. And I think that is lame and unfair. I think that's unfair that they make Lucian so good everywhere, even in dragons. Oh, can my Inugami survive? Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. There we go. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? For the longest time, that's always my complaint. Like, the fire golems are literally the same as the water ones. So it wouldn't really change anything if you put them in dragons. I guess they wouldn't have the damage reduction passive, or they would have, which would be difficult. But that's me with my little biased tinfoil hat. Comtuus super favors Lucian. So this is a team I was using back in B12 or B10s before it came out. My Julie was strong enough to one-shot the waves. Now in Necropolis B12, it's really not possible. Unless you're like super, super, super insane. So this is my Abigail. I have her runed up just for damage and specific speed tuning. Because the way this comp works, as we'll see, Julie goes first and gets the wave low enough so that Abigail will use her skill 3 to finish them off. And this is my Necropolis Julie. And then we have my twins. This one is a full fight Sabrina. So she's really just on... she's on fight runes. My team, if you've noticed, is very, very tightly speed-tuned. Pretty much all the twins are like 1 or 2 speed apart. Because I have them all set for like the minimum I think 153 for the twins is pretty much the minimum speed you can use and try to get away with. Which is why I don't have speed grinded on most of these. Need some improvements, of course. I've had them runed up like this for a very long time. But it's been working. It's not perfect 100% success rate. It works a very majority of the time, though. Because sometimes, you know, you miss defense break, you fail to kill the mid-boss, and that's pretty bad for it. Like that. I missed a crit. I missed a crit, and he hit my Julie, and so Julie doesn't use her skill. So, you know, like I was saying, it doesn't always work out. Really unfortunate for us that it worked out like this. It's probably because I'm recording. But at least this team is a lot faster. Like 32 seconds, I think, has been my fastest for Necropolis B12. Is there any way we win this? No, okay, we don't win. We don't. Well, let's just end that one and try again. Shame. This is probably the best team I have, and it's not working on the video, so let's try to show it again. Hopefully we can ideally just miss defense break. Yes. Can we skill 3? Why didn't they skill 3? You know, that feels pretty bad. Are we going to show the... I'm not even... Whatever. It's still... I think it's still fine. That is a shame, though. Why won't they use skill 3? This is why people have switched to really good AI comps. You know, they nerfed the twins a while back for their damage. Personally, I think they could afford to rebuff that back. Especially with B12s now. I think Com2uS has been trying to make twins more and more irrelevant as the time goes on, because they were really strong when they came out. Like, even the new Mimic dungeon that came out, you can't use twins. They just don't work there. Well, there's our defense break. And our skill 3. There we go. Well, that almost one-shot. Yeah, it's been working out well. I have the Water Cannon girl. She has a lot of multi-hits, too. So depending on when she uses her S2, she's really good for this. A lot of multi-hits in this team. And that should be enough to take it out. There we go. Now, yeah, I could definitely increase the runes on my twins, I think, at this point. Ooh, a Nemesis HP. You know what? I'm going to hold on to that just in case. I want to see how it rolls. It is an HP slot 6, so maybe I throw a couple of re-apps at it and see if it goes speed. But it is a pretty shit rune. Right now, it looks pretty shit. All right, so far, so good. And there we go. See, like, most of the time, it's really good, real consistent, but... So I can do B12s for a while. Ooh, 36 seconds. Not bad. I'll do another one. So for most of the time, I can have my B10s on, and they go through and wipe everything, but... You know, sometimes they fail. So I do, you know, the teams obviously still need work. I need to work to improve them. Oh, we actually killed the boss there. That saves us a lot of time. So I have to hope for some good buffs for units, or use S3. Nice, boss is down. How quickly can we break the shield? Oh, if that defense broke, that might have been a new best. What's our time? 36 seconds. We actually could have got quicker if we landed the defense break. I definitely farmed a lot of Necropolis back in the day when the B10s were a thing. I mean, I legitimately just Julie, Cannon Girl, twinsed every dungeon, and it worked really well. So I could see why they added B12s to kill twins, but, you know. Hopefully, Com2Us puts out a unit that can at least be comparable to Lucian in the future, so we have more options for speedrunning dungeons. Because right now, there's really nothing else that you can use to clear waves. Which I don't like. I don't like that Lucian's the only thing you can use for that, but... Because I love speedrunning dungeons, and I would want to be able to compete. Even though, I mean, I realize I am a water-only account, but I would love to be able to compete for that. All right, I think that is going to be where we end off the video for today. Let me know what you guys think about my dungeon comps. I know 2 of them are the same, and this is what's working for me right now. Maybe we can theory craft some ideas of what units would be really good for water dungeon team. I've played around with a lot of things, but you know, if you have any ideas, maybe something I haven't thought about, it could be interesting. I really am hoping for the Water Weapon Master. He would be awesome for nuking dungeons. Hopefully Com2Us will give me one of those. And, you know, if not, buff something Com2Us, please, in the balance patch. Buff Water Robo. I would love to be able to use him for that. So if you guys enjoyed, do let me know in the comments down below. And thanks for stopping by, and I will see you all in the next video. All right, bye-bye, everybody.